Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my heavy hitter perfumes, and this is a tag video that was created by Nisha Spicy Looks here on YouTube. So she did this tag last year where she had her heavy hitter perfumes, and then she resurrected it again this year where these are new perfumes in her collection that are heavy hitters. But I did do my own top powerhouse perfumes. So powerhouse, beast mode, heavy hitters, whatever you call it. I did do a video like this last year, so I will have her video and my video from last year linked down below, as well as I will have her video with her resurrected, her new perfumes in her collection linked down below. If you guys haven't already checked out Nisha's channel, you really should. She has an amazing collection, and girl never has an off day. Like, I'm having an off day right now, and I swear I have yet to see Nisha have an off day. She always looks so put together. So I will have all her information linked down below, but I decided to do this video a little bit differently. I noticed when I was pulling out perfumes, I had a lot of flankers. So I decided to have a battle of the flankers. I'm gonna be pairing up perfumes with famous girl fight scenes. I do have a few standalone fragrances, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. First up is Pure Excess by Paco Rabanne. For the most part, I know all the character names, and I'm just going to be naming the character, but this video is so old. So I decided to pair up Pure Excess with J-Lo's character in Anaconda. Yes, the snake on the front helped with that. But that scene where she's battling the anaconda to try to save Ice Cube's life, I think his character is Danny. I'm pretty sure that's the name of his character. But that scene where the anaconda's wrapped around him and she's trying to save him and get him out of the water, that's who I paired this up with. So this is sweet, it's dark, it's deep. This is a scent that I've had Dennis smell, and not many perfumes does he call loud in my collection, and this is one that he has called loud. I'm gonna name the few that he has mentioned, and this is one of them. He was like, oh wow, that's strong. This is also a perfume that my mom has commented on. This is a perfume you do not need to overspray. It's sweet, it's dark, it's got a popcorn note, it's savory. So next up as a standalone fragrance is Absolution by Noir Por Fam. And this I actually featured in my kick-ass perfume pairing video, and I paired this up with Michelle Rodriguez, and I'm gonna pair it up with her again. Michelle Rodriguez as an actress, not any of her characters in particular. She just has a lot of fight scenes, a lot of heavy hitting scenes. So this is a warm, spicy, sweet scent. This is compared to Baccarat Rouge 540. It does vibe very similar to that one. I wouldn't say it's an exact or a clone. I would say it's a close dupe. I prefer this one to Baccarat Rouge 540. There is something in here, I don't know what, that comes off very cherry to a lot of people's noses. I've heard it in other people's videos. They do not list cherry in here, but I swear there is a cherry note in here. Because, I mean, it smells more like Baccarat Rouge from the nozzle, but when you spray this on, that's when, to me, it takes a different direction. And again, there's something in here that comes off very cherry. But this is a perfume that you have to be careful with. It does this disappearing act that Cloud and Baccarat Rouge 540 does. I don't know what it is in here that on a lot of people, they go nose blind to it, me included. But this is a perfume that the first time I tried it, I kept spraying and spraying, and I choked Dennis out in the car. And he had to roll down the window, and then I was self-conscious about the way I smelled all night, because then I could smell it once I got into like a enclosed space. So this is a perfume you do not need to overspray, even if you can't smell it. All right, another standalone fragrance is Chloe Nomad. And I paired this up with Michonne from The Walking Dead. I believe it was in my kick-ass. I paired her up with Black Orchid, but I featured Black Orchid in my powerhouse last year, and I knew I wanted Nomad, and Nomad has also been another one that I've always, in the back of my mind, knew I would pair up with her, just because this is a heavy hitter. And like the name Nomad, that's kind of how she is in that show. She kind of wanders in the beginning of the show, and her battle is against The Walking Dead. And then this is just a juicy, earthy kind of scent. There's marble plum in here. There's oak moss, patchouli. And this is one that I have mentioned. I went and got my taxes done and I filled up the whole entire tax office with this scent. So this is another one you got to be careful when you spray. The scent profile, I was like, oh, this is a pretty fruity floral, and I just sprayed it not thinking. That was during Rona as well. That was in 2020 and we were all wearing masks. Another standalone fragrance is Tom Ford's Noir Por Fam. And I paired this up with Angelina Jolie's character Jane Smith from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I've paired this up in my kick-ass perfume video with her as well. But the scene where she's fighting Mr. Smith and like I don't know if she kicks him, but where she's like, who's your daddy now? That is this. This is a spiced vanilla scent. There's coffee in here. There's vanilla. I believe there's ginger in here, which is what gives it kind of that zesty zing to my nose. This is a sexy, zesty, spiced vanilla scent. So again, I paired this up with Jane Smith from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that is all my standalone fragrances. So I don't know what order I'm gonna go in. I'm probably gonna do these two first, because I would say that these hit heavy in a different way. But that's Livre by Issa Laurent. And I would say these are more aromatic, where a lot of these other ones are more sweet and kind of dark and deep. This is more of your aromatic, because I don't think all heavy hitters have to be sweet and thick. But these are two scents that I've gotten compliments on and people have noticed on me. So we have the OG, and I paired this up with this character again, and then the Intense. So the scene that I paired this up with is between Wonder Woman and Cheetah from Wonder Woman. I think it's 84. The scene where Wonder Woman has to get her to, I think it's denounce.
You renounced your wish.
Take back her wish is the scene that I imagine these girls. This one's a little bit more edgy, and one that I think Wonder Woman or just Gal Gadot herself, because it's classy, would wear. This is lavender, it's citrus. It does have a sweetness from the vanilla, but this one is the original with an extra dose of vanilla and then added tonka bean. And to me, that kind of rounds out the lavender. And I paired this up with Kristen Wiig's character, Cheetah, because this is the more likable version. And in the movie, she so desperately wants to be light. I decided to pair up the Livre with that scene between Cheetah and Wonder Woman. Okay, now we're gonna get into the sweet scents, but kind of fruity floral that I find to be heavy hitters is the C perfumes. C, the Eau de Parfum, and then C Intense. And I paired these two up with the ladies from Empire. I paired this up with Anika, and then C Intense with Cookie Lion. Now I have paired up Cookie Lion with Velvet Orchid, which is an honorable mention. But that scene where Cookie like spills,
Tell me why I shouldn't throw this drink in your bitch ass face.
and then they just go at it, that's the scene. These are both fruity florals. This one's a little bit more sexier. It's a little more boozy at the top. The more intense version of this one. This one's classy, a little bit more work appropriate. You could take this one around mom and dad. It's a little bit more powdery. This one is intense. This one gets in your face just like Cookie does. So that is why I paired it up, but both are still heavy hitters. I mean, Anika's, she throws down too in that fight scene, but Cookie gets it at the end. Cookie's just got that fire inside. She's just intense. So that's why I knew I needed an intense perfume for Cookie. Now, I did have an honorable mention, but I didn't want to pair this up with Cookie again, because this is a scene. These two girls were about to throw down, but they didn't. And it's the scene in Empire between Treasure and Tiana. That scene where they both got beautiful gowns on. I mean, is that just not perfect? So we have Velvet Orchid by Tom Ford, and then we have Tom Ford's Black Orchid Parfum in that beautiful gold bottle. So I paired up Velvet Orchid with Treasure, who has that beautiful purple dress. I mean, it looks like this bottle. And then Tiana with that gold number with the gold beautiful face mask. And then Becky, because everyone needs a Becky in their life. Breaks it up before the girls can throw down and make a scene in front of everybody. But this is more of an honorable mention because I have talked about this one in my video. And I have talked about Black Orchid, and honestly, Black Orchid Parfum to my nose is very similar. If you have one, you don't necessarily need the other. I think this one's a little smoother and sweeter. So I would say if you thought Black Orchid was a little bit too much, like you like the scent, but you wish it just was a little more smoother and softer around the edges, you might want to try the Parfum version. But yeah, that was more of an honorable mention. So this next set, I have 2 from Maison Lancome. I've tried 5 from this line, and all 5 on my skin performs. I've tried Lavandis Trianon, which I absolutely love. I've tried Roses Barbaranza, which I wasn't crazy about, and Parfait de Roses. And then these 2. And again, amazing performance. But I paired up these perfumes with the fight scene in Kill Bill Volume 1. So I paired up Jasmins Marzipane with The Bride, and then Oud Bouquet with Vernita. So Jasmins Marzipane, I paired up with The Bride. Honestly, I know it's dumb, but I paired it up with The Bride because of the name. I've always said that this is a beautiful scent for a bride, but this is a heavy hitter. So if you are a bride wanting a scent that is going to leave an amazing sillage, it's not going to be datey, and because yes, this is a beautiful jasmine, but this is a heavy jasmine. Yeah, I've gotten compliments on this one, but more specifically, I had gotten a compliment from a cashier at Publix while she was wearing a mask. She was like, someone smells good, and I knew it was me because I could smell my perfume coming up, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. This is a perfume that pierces through a mask, and it's not thick and heavy, but it is loud. So this does open up with like kind of an indolic jasmine, but when it dries down, to me the jasmine gets more clean and soapy, and then there's a nuttiness and a slight sweetness from the vanilla. And then I paired up Vernita, played by Vivica A. Fox, with Oud Bouquet, and this is just this is an even bigger heavy hitter. This is a deep, sexy, sweet oudy rose. So the scene where I paired this up is the scene where they're fighting throughout the house. Like, the whole fight scene is kind of crazy. I think Vernita's daughter even walks in on them fighting. That's who I paired this scene up with, is that scene in Kill Bill Volume 1. So this next one, I would say, isn't a battle. I am 1 season behind, or is it 2 seasons behind? I've watched 4 seasons of Queen of the South, and I would say this is more a battle of the wits. So I paired up L'Interdit Rouge with Doña Camila from Queen of the South, and Intense with Teresa. And my reason, because if you've seen the show, Teresa's character isn't necessarily intense, but she is. She just internalizes it. She's a woman that's quiet, she is meticulous, and she is planning her revenge inside. She internalizes her feelings. And in that way, I find her to be intense, because her need to survive is what keeps her at the top. So I paired her up with Intense because, kind of like her, this scent is sweet, it's sophisticated, she cleans up really well. And then I paired up Rouge with Doña Camila because this is spicy, this is zesty. I believe there's ginger in here. I'm not too sure. I think there's blood orange, but this scent, even though they don't list it, there's something kind of cinnamon about this scent. There's something spicy about this scent. And again, elegant and sophisticated. Both ladies are very elegant and sophisticated, but one's intense. Her need for survival is intense, and one is spicy. She will stab you in the back. This one was a little different, but I kind of knew I wanted these characters somewhere in this heavy hitter list. I feel like there's a scene where Teresa's helping Camila, and Camila's in a red dress and Teresa's in black. If there is, I'm gonna have to insert a clip. Okay, so this next one is Scandal and Scandal by Night. And I paired this up with the fight scene from Charlie's Angels Full Throttle between Madison and Natalie. I would say that scene, or in that movie, it's kind of this whole good versus evil. Like even when they meet, like Natalie's in the white bathing suit, she's more bubbly, she's got, you know, that blonde hair, and then Demi's got like that dark long hair. She's got the black bikini on, a little bit more darker and sexy, I would say. Natalie's a little bit more bubbly and cheery. So I decided to pair them up with Scandal by Night and the original. So this one's more of that tuberose, buttery, sexy, cherry, kind of a darker version of the OG. So if you can't tell, I had paired the OG with Natalie and then Scandal by Night with Madison. And the scene that I'm talking about is the scene where Madison's about to kill Natalie. And then Natalie says, oh, there's one thing I have that you'll never have. And she's like, what? And then she's like, friends. And you know I had to include their friends. So even though these are eau de toilettes, these are some heavy hitting eau de toilettes. So I paired up Scandal à Paris with Dylan and So Scandal with Alex. And this one is more pear. It doesn't list tuberose, but I still get tuberose. It's more of like that bubblegum tuberose than it is like that buttery tuberose, but I still get tuberose even though they don't list it. And then this one's more lactonic, more raspberry, and this one's sweet. And they don't list honey, but there's something about it that's sweet. I don't know if there is honey or not, but this still, to me, carries the DNA. Like I can still tell that this is a flanker. But that scene where then they come in and they just come in legs a-blazing, and then I think Demi does a split. The splits, kicks is the reason why I knew I wanted these legs with that fighting scene. I just thought it went perfectly. Again, this one's more dark, cherry, and then I would say that these are a little bit more brighter. These, they're all thick, they're all sweet scents. I would say that one's the sexiest of the bunch. So again, I paired up the Scandal and flankers with Charlie's Angels Full Throttle and the fight scene between Madison. Okay, and then last, I would say, yeah, I think I saved the best for last. This probably is one of the most epic girl battle scenes. But falling in line with Jean-Paul Gaultier, we have the La Belles. And I have La Belle the original and La Belle Le Parfum. And I paired this up with Letty and Cara from Fast and the Furious number, I don't know at this point. But I decided to pair up the OG with the OG fighter, Rhonda. And then Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez. So the original is just more of a fresh pear. I would say the pear in this one is, it's still sweet, but it's more of a crisp, fresh kind of pear. And then the pear in Le Parfum is sweeter and more spiced. And it's just that red dress that Michelle Rodriguez is wearing. I know they say that there's cherry in this one, but to me it's more of a dark fruit. It doesn't come off cherry like I would say my nose picks up in Absolution. It's just more of a dark fruit. Like it could be plum, it could be a cherry. It's just something kind of juicy and dark. And then this one, I would say, I believe both of them have vetiver, but you pick up the vetiver more so in this one, which I prefer. I actually prefer the original, and Dennis prefers Le Parfum. This one's more smoother, sweeter, but this one's really sweet. I would say the vetiver grounds the sweetness in the original. So I enjoy both of them, but I do prefer the original. I paired up the La Belles with Cara and Letty from Fast and the Furious, and just that sexy scene where they're throwing down. I mean, I think that's probably one of the most epic fight scenes, but you guys let me know. So those are my top heavy hitter perfumes 2021. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your heavy hitter perfumes? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.